I asked you for your most unpopular superhero movie opinions, so here they are. The first unpopular opinion of the day is the Batman is greater than Marvel in all of 2022, so I think I have to agree with this one. So the MCU in 2022 movie-wise put out Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Thor Love and Thunder, and Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and while I actually think all three of these are pretty okay movies, and I really like Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, I have to agree that Batman is clearly better than all these movies combined. I mean, even if you add in these shows, I thought Moon Knight was incredible, but the ending felt a little lackluster to me. I still love the show overall, but I mean, that was easily the MCU's strongest show. Then Miss Marvel, I haven't watched, so I can't personally judge, honestly, but I just don't think it's going to be better than the Batman, and She-Hulk, I just could not even get through. So I agree with the first one, the Batman was better than the MCU in 2022. Our second unpopular opinion of the day is that Wanda is an annoying and a bad character. Only thing that makes her okay is Liz's acting. And I'm not going to lie to you, I think this might be the easiest disagree I've ever had in my life. I mean, while I do agree that Elizabeth Olsen's acting definitely elevates the character, I don't in any way think that Wanda's character is annoying. I mean, I can definitely see why some people don't like Wanda because they don't like how she's kind of this becoming a villain and can't really see that she's a villain, but in my opinion, I love villains. I think they're more interesting than heroes 90% of the time, and I think the character arc of going from kind of an anti-hero, hero-ish character to a villain has been amazing for Wanda. And honestly, I think she's the second best character in the entire Phase 4 of the MCU. It's either her or Spider-Man is number one, and honestly, it could be either. But between WandaVision and Multiverse of Madness, I feel like Wanda was one of the most prominent characters and best performances in the entire MCU we've ever seen. Moving on to our third unpopular opinion of the day is that the Eternals would have had more positive reviews if it wasn't an MCU film. And this one, I see where you're coming from with this because I feel like a lot of people that were going for it just to see it as an MCU movie were disappointed because obviously it's a whole bunch of brand new characters. It was a very different tone and pace and everything from everything we've seen in the MCU before. But honestly, I feel like this movie would have flopped 10 times harder if it was not a part of the MCU. If it was still like a Marvel project, just separate, like, you know, how Sony does their separate things like Venom, I feel like this movie would have gotten terrible reviews just as it did as an MCU film. And that comes down to, for me and a lot of people, this movie is just not enjoyable. There's just a core things about the actual structure of this movie, the script, everything. It is just not a good movie to a lot of people. Now, I do know there are people out there that do like this movie, and that's okay, but I just say I don't think it not being in the MCU would have had any effect on their reviews. Loki isn't that good of a show. Easy disagree. Loki is easily the best MCU show in my opinion. I just feel like it's the most consistent show in the MCU. Like I mentioned earlier, Moon Knight I thought was an absolutely incredible show, but I feel like the ending just felt a little rushed, just a little different than the rest of the tone of the show. WandaVision, while I can appreciate the creativity that goes into the earlier sitcom episodes, it's not something I really want to go back and rewatch, but Loki just felt so great all the way through. And it's great just finally getting to see Tom Hiddleston shine as this character that he has just fully became, and I absolutely love the Loki show. Cannot wait for season 2. The Mandarin twist in Iron Man 3 is generally really funny, and I love it. Absolutely agree. I love Iron Man 3. I think it's one of the most overhated and underrated MCU movies that there is, and I feel like this twist worked perfectly. It was actually executed in a way that I found funny, and I think the villain that we got in replacement was 10 times better than if we got the real Mandarin in this movie. This is a really unpopular one though, so let me know in the comments what you think of this twist, if you liked it, if you hated it. Black Adam was an awesome movie, the biggest disagree I've ever had, and if you want to hear my reasoning why, make sure to check out this video on screen right now.